Greetings, welcome to Performance Reviews, where we give you the review from the technician's point of view. And today we're going to talk about vacuum shopping at Costco and what Costco's website has to offer. Before we get shopping at Costco for a vacuum cleaner, let's ask ourselves, what kind of vacuum cleaner do I need? I know this sounds basic, but it is really important and a question so few people ask themselves before just picking up a vacuum cleaner and putting it in their shopping cart. Vacuum cleaner shopping at Costco is kind of like tool shopping. While they might have a really awesome deal on a power washer, if you need the basics like a hammer or a stapler, you're just not going to find it there. And don't take this the wrong way, I really like Costco. I shop there regularly, I've been a member for years, and almost every time I go there I look down the vacuum aisle, but I rarely see anything that would suit most people's needs. So there's a couple basic questions I want you to ask yourself before you go shopping. Number one, what kind of vacuum am I looking for? Do you want something for quick pickups like a stick vacuum or a cordless vacuum? Are you looking for something to get a whole house done? Are you looking for something to get an apartment done? Now, believe it or not, the size of the area you're cleaning makes a huge difference. A lot of machines are only meant for certain square footages. In fact, if you've been following the channel and you look at some of my other buyer guides, I like to break it up to under 1,000 square feet, 2 to 3,000 square feet, and then our bigger 4,000 square foot plus, which Costco, to my knowledge, has never had a machine to clean that size space. The other thing you need to ask yourselves is, what kind of flooring do you have? Do you have hard floors and area rugs? Do you have wall-to-wall carpet? Do you have thick wall-to-wall carpet? This all makes a difference. Again, a lot of vacuums only do a specific task. Very few vacuums actually do all types of flooring. The last thing we need to consider is our location. I'm writing this guide based on the United States because that's where I'm located at, though other countries get completely different vacuum choices than we get in the United States, and their Costco's are going to vary. Alright, now that we've established that we're talking about US Costco's, we're going to first talk about what's in store, and then I'll talk about what's available online with special order. When I started the video, I said from the technician's point of view, what that means is I've either repaired and used the vacuum or I've done an actual in-depth review on the vacuum. And most of the vacuums currently at Costco, I have done in-depth reviews, and I'll be using some of that footage and linking to those videos as well. Unfortunately, Costco seems to have stopped selling the Dyson V8 model, which was, as we all know, their peak cordless machine. They do stock the Dyson V11, which I've talked about in depth. It's a really bulky, heavy machine. And the price at $549 seems a bit steep considering there are better versions of this machine out there now. The V12 solves a lot of complaints with the V10 and the V11, so keep in mind if you're really set on Dyson, those are probably the models to focus on, which unfortunately Costco in 2022 does not sell. I've actually reviewed 3 different versions of the V11. The last one I did buy at Costco along with the second one, and it's really hard to push on wall-to-wall carpet. Also, oddly enough, there's no way to shut the brush roller off, so if you have delicate hard floors, it's not recommended either. I do have a video explaining how you can put a hard floor tool on the end of this. I would highly recommend that if you are getting one of these for use on hard floor. Again, $549 is a bit steep considering there are other options for stick vacuums, and even by Dyson standards, the V11 was mediocre at best. Now, if this were ever to go on sale for a sub $300, it might be worth picking it up. Well, what about the V10? Well, the V10 is a louder machine, same big bulky design. It was kind of beta testing the V11 on the public for the most part. Also, just like the V11, it's quite underpowered and meant for pickups, even though it's kind of bulky and still expensive at $500. I do have a full review on the Costco model of the V10 if you want to check it out, but it's not on my recommended list. Quick side note, when the V10 launched, they paid a bunch of influencers. It was so rampant that even Gamers Nexus made fun of it to lie as tech tips at one time. Now, it's not all bad. Right next to it is the LG cordless stick vacuum, and almost every Costco I go to, this machine is ridiculously beat up. A lot of people touch it, fondle it, and it's just like thrown around. However, not to worry, this thing comes with a limited 10-year warranty, 2 batteries, a charging station, and is one of the best values in terms of cordless stick vacuum. I think the reason for this is, unlike Dyson and some of the other manufacturers, LG doesn't really have a rep who travels store to store to check things. Oddly enough, the LG is one of the strongest cordless stick vacuums we've tested to date. It has more power than the Dysons right next to it, and it should do you well for the price. It's often on deep discount, It's $3.99 here at my Costco, but I've seen it as low as $2.49. And that could bounce all over the place, but just keep an eye out for a sale if you are buying one of these. So if you're looking for something for quick pickups, I would recommend it. Next up, we have a Shark plug-in stick vacuum. So this thing looks like it's cordless, but it's actually plug-in. So what that means is it's like the worst of all worlds. On top of that, it has the dual clean nozzle, which is horribly bad, like famously horribly bad. With the two brush rollers. I have a whole video explaining the flaws in that nozzle. I'm not sure what the use case is for this particular vacuum, but I really wouldn't recommend it, and they make some pretty bold claims that are obviously false on the box at that price. Then if we add that with Shark's reputation in the vacuum industry, we're going to call that a hard pass. Next up is a Dyson ball plug-in machine. This is the Animal 2, but this machine's been around forever, originally released as a DC41, later the DC65, UP13, and UP19. I also have a full review on this style of machine. It's not a horrible option if you insist on having a backless vacuum cleaner. It does have some limitations, like it doesn't like medium to high pile carpet that well. It can scratch your hard floors the way the cleaner nozzle is designed, and the tools can be cumbersome to use. It is also rather high maintenance and requiring filter washes every use, and there is a exhaust filter that needs to be changed every 3 to 6 months, so it doesn't actually save you that much money versus a bag cleaner. But this is one I've seen on sale as low as $2.49. I think it would be inappropriate for a house under 1,000 square feet. I'd give the Dyson Animal Ball a conditional buy. Next up is this little blue Shark upright. I did a full review, unboxing, and heavy breakdown on this machine, and I even compared it to some of its competitors in a separate video. Actually, one of the worst vacuums I've ever tested on the channel, and I would not recommend it. Again, I'll put a card here if you want to see the full video on it, but it's pretty bad. The Shark Duo Clean ADV is a hard pass, and again, one of the worst vacuums I've tested on the channel. I do not recommend it. Now, I don't have a specific video on this Shark. It is the same as the last Shark with a nozzle that's a little bit simpler. It just has one brush roller on the bottom. Again, with Shark's quality and reputation, I really wouldn't recommend it. However, it is the better of the 3 or 4 Sharks that are here at Costco. I would give it a hard pass. There are better machines out there for your money. Next is the Bissell Crosswave. Now, the Bissell Crosswave is really misunderstood because it was mismarketed. It is an auto scrubber for hard floor. It is not meant to be a vacuum cleaner. In fact, if you do dry vacuuming with it, that will probably be the end of it. It's designed to scrub your floors and get the stuff a vacuum cleaner doesn't get, particularly wet messes. It's got pretty good reviews. People who buy these really like them. Now, Bissell quality is pretty bad, so understand that you're going to have it for a limited time, and filtration's not that great on it either. If the price is right, I would give it a conditional buy. Next up, we have a Shark hand vac. This is a really small compact vacuum cleaner for cleaning up quick messes. I personally don't like this sort of machine, let alone one that's made by the worst vacuum manufacturer, Shark. I wouldn't recommend this, and then for the price, $99, you can get some better options off Amazon, or at least some cheaper options, so I'd give that a hard pass. Now, the first thing you see when you go into Costco are robotic vacuums. These are usually at the end cap. They usually have 2 of them. These are more for maintenance or quick pickup. You still need a full-size vacuum with these. Keep in mind, they usually have iRobot, and if you get an iRobot, make sure it's a model with navigation. You don't want to buy a robotic vacuum without navigation. They just don't work well. The Shark here, I wouldn't recommend the Shark just because of their bad warranty policy. Even though it might clean well, understand this is a disposable product. I think it's a bit hefty to spend $3.99 for a disposable product. Now on to Costco.com. If you are in the market for a quick pickup machine, you'll probably find a stick vacuum on there. Not only do they have multiple different versions of the LG A9, they might have a Dyson or some other ones that you don't see, so definitely check that out as well. The Bissell AirRam is actually one I do recommend if you want a quick pickup machine and don't care about filtration. Tyneco, they don't really have much warranty or parts availability in the United States, so I don't really recommend that brand either. The Samsung, I haven't had time to evaluate. I've heard a lot of mixed things, like parts being on back order forever, but I've also heard they're fairly powerful. Hopefully I get around to testing one of these in the future. As far as upright vacuums are concerned, we've talked about every single one of these except for the Eurekas. Eureka is one of those household names from yesteryear. They got sold off to a random Chinese manufacturer. Again, I don't really recommend them. They're poorly made. The construction's not great. Performance is so-so. And then part support is almost non-existent now here in the United States. So again, hard pass on those two. Of course, the Dysons, the Shark, and the Crosswave we've already talked about. All right, here is something that's on their website that I've never actually seen in store. It's a Miele Complete C2. This is actually an S5, which is an older model Miele, about 15 years old. This is what you would have purchased. This is a decent machine for hard floors and area ruts. Not designed to do wall-to-wall carpet. There is no carpet nozzle with this. So again, it's very limited in its capability, and it's definitely been superseded by other machines in Miele's lineup, which you can get for about the same price at your local Miele dealer. So if you're looking for this style of machine, I'd actually recommend you go to your local dealer rather than going to Costco. So why the Miele C2 is not a bad vacuum? Most likely we'll get a better deal on this somewhere else. So in 2022, that's what Costco has on their shelves and on their website. Would I recommend you buying a vacuum from Costco? If they have a vacuum cleaner that suits your needs, you definitely can. I think there are better places to buy them, especially if you have a local independent vacuum dealer in your town. Those are real gems. So overall, shop around. Don't just limit yourself to Costco. Thank you so much for watching. Please give this video a like, subscribe, comment below if you bought a machine from Costco. I'd like to hear from you. And have yourself a fantastic day.